everyone, my name is Eliza Verposdad from BS Ed Math 2 from Group 3. Today, we will continue the topic of Module 9, that is about Neo-Behaviorism of Tolman and Bandura. I know for sure, guys, you all know about Neo-Behaviorism for the previous reporter that talks about Neo-Behaviorism of Tolman. And now, today, we will talk about Neo-Behaviorism of Albert Bandura. But before we go to that topic, let's go back what's the meaning of Neo-Behaviorism. Neo-Behaviorism is a behavior cannot be fully understood simply in terms of observable stimuli and reactions. Neo-Behaviorism introduce meditating variables into the behaviorist stimulus-response scheme. So, neo-behaviorism in education is used to understand how people learn what they need in order to be successful, right? So, now we will go on to our main topic, that is Albert Bandura's theory of neo-behaviorism. So, before we go to that, think back to your childhood days. Do you remember learning to ride a bike or a skateboard? I bet you learned this skill by just watching someone riding their bike and skateboard, right? So, this is Albert Bandura. That is what Albert Bandura social cognitive psychologists believe. Bandura's social cognitive theory of human functioning emphasizes the critical role of self-beliefs in human cognition, motivation, and behavior. So, social cognitive theory gives prominence to a self-system that enables individuals to exercise a measure of control over their thoughts, feelings, and actions. It focuses on how information is processed by the brain and how learning occurs through internal processing information. So next, Albert Bandura was known for his social learning theory. Social learning theory emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reactions of others. So, social learning theory consider how both environmental and cognitive functions interact to influence human learning behaviors. So, in previous reporters, Tolman believed that we are motivated by what is most important to us, while Bandura's theory states that we are motivated by goals that can be achieved. Bandura asserts that most human behavior is learned through observation, imitation, and modeling. So, Bandura focused more on the idea of modeling action and seeing it triggers similar responses from other members. So, it focuses on seeing and the actions. Kung unsa ang ato nga makita sa bata or gaunsa ka as a adult, mapunay suhiron nila. So, next. General principles of social learning theory. Number 1. People can learn by observing the behavior of others and the outcomes of those behaviors. So, like a 10-year-old boy did watch cartoons on TV, and then most have imitated it, right? So, number 2, learning can occur without a change in behavior. So, social learning theory focuses on the learning that occurs within a social context. It considers that people learn from one another, including such concepts as observational learning or imitation and modeling. Social learning theory can be considered as a bridge or a transition between a behaviorist learning and cognitive learning. So, social learning principles can be considered as a bridge or a transition between behaviorists of the behavior of others. Example, a student who is praised for raising their hand to speak will more than likely defeat that behavior. So, it can be used to encourage and teach desirable behaviors in the classroom through the use of positive behaviors and rewards. So, like sa mga teachers, kung na sila sa eskwelahan, so they gave rewards for the students. So next, Bandura make a distinction between learning through observation and actual imitation of what has been learned. So Bandura make a distinction between through observation. Learning can occur by watching others, right? So Bandura proposed that behavior can influence both the environment and the person. So, information we process from observing other people. Things and events influences the way we act. In fact, that the person, behavior, and the environment can have an influence in each other. So, like what I say, kung unsang atong makita, kung unsang makita sa bata, mo po na nila ilanga, suhiron. So, children observes the people around them behaving in a various ways. For example, teacher do or say the children will pay attention and encode their behavior. At later time, they imitate the behavior they observe. So this focuses on how mental factors are involved in learning. So next is modeling. Modeling, there are different types of models. There is the live model or real life. Example are the teachers and parents. This model is an actual person demonstrating the behavior. And another one is symbolic model. It is the oral or written, presented through audio, visual measures. So, which can action portrayed in some other medium. Example, for the bubodal, Bandura study and experiment the behavior of children after they watch an adult model act aggressively towards bobodal. So, this is the famous study or experiment of Albert Bandura. Just like in the screen or in the PowerPoint presentation. So, mo ni ang gikuan ni Bandura ang bobodal. Kay kung unsa ang bobodal is like, kung imo siyang tandugon, mo pud ang iyahang response. So, these are the behaviors that can be learned through modeling. So, importance of models. Observer may inquire new responses, may strengthen or weaken every existing response, may cause the appearance of response that are apparently forgotten. So, many behaviors can be learned. So, example, students can watch their teacher read, or students can watch demonstrations of mathematics problems, or see someone act bravely in fearful situations. So, just like this example nga na sa ato nga picture, she's afraid snakes too, but she's okay. So, ang babae, little girl, nga naa siya snake. So, nakita sa usa ka tawo, sa usa ka bata, nga hadlok siya sa snake, but ang usa ka babae wala. So, iya po nang masulod sa iya nga huna-huna or sa iya nga mind nga dili po siya mahadlok. So, iya rang gi-imitate ang gibuhat sa usa ka bata. So, children become Also, but remember, aggression can be learned through models. Children become more aggressive when they observe aggressive or violent models. Just like what I say earlier about Bobodal, that Bandura showed that children will alter their behavior by simply watching others. Like example, sa sulod sa panimalay, haning kung unsay makita sa ilang mga parents, mo po na ila nga suhiron. Kung mag-away ang mga iring og iro ang naasulod sa panimalay, sumusab ang buhaton sa bata. Kung magsigig sumbagay, makita siya nga nice, for example, nga kita siya sa TV, nga gasumbagay, so magpusil-pusil, so ingana po ang suhiron sa usa ka bata. So moral thinking and moral behavior are influenced by observing and modeling. So we must be careful sa atong nga mga actions, sa atong nga ginabuhat everyday, kay makuha man na sa usa ka bata. So, next, 4 phases in observational learning. First is attention, second is retention, 4 is motor reproduction, and third is motivation. So, first is attention. The person must pay attention to the model. So, more exposure does not ensure acquisition behavior. Observer must attend and recognize the distinction features of model response. So, kinahanglan ta og attention. Oh? Kaya kung mag-observe ta, ang atong attention jud mo'y makuha. Second is retention. The observed must be able to remember the behavior that has been observed. So, reproduction of the desired behavior implies that a student symbolically retains the observed behavior. So, retention must be also important. So, muna sila'y makuha or mabutang sa utok sa usa ka bata. Third is motor reproduction. So, the third condition is the ability to replicate the behavior that the model that has just demonstrated for motivation. After observation, have students demonstrate as soon as possible correct behavior can be reinforced while incorrect ones are altered. So, muna nga, kung unsa ang makita sa usa ka bata, kung sayop na siya or dili, muna ang iya nga buhaton. So, that was Bandura's theory belief. Next is motivation. So, motivation is the final necessary ingredient to occur in motivation. Although, observer acquires and retains ability to perform the modeled behavior. There will no overt performance unless conditions are favorable. So, kinahanglan pod ang atong kwan is natay motivation because if children or the young ones will be motivated, kung unsa nga atong itudlo nila, they will also imitate that, right? So, kung mag-draw ta, or atong lang nga, ingnon nga, dapat, kung ing-ani, ing-ana, so, motivate sila, right? So, next, so, Bandura's mentioned 4 conditions that are necessary before and an individual can be successful model behavior of someone else. So, it will be a successful and behavior for someone else nga makahatag pod og lesson sa uban. Next, educational implications of social learning. So, first is students often learn a great deal simply by observing other people. Second is describing the consequences of behavior can effectively increase the appropriate behaviors and decrease inappropriate ones. So, in the classroom or in schools, this can help teachers create a plan for each student, which will lead to more successful for the individual and the class. So, nga na nga atong ma-apply for me for future educator, I will ma-apply na ko ni as mag-teach ko, and it will be a big help diri nako. So, like teachers sa ga-elementary ko or samtang high school ko or naabot na ko nga college. So, unsay akong makita sa ako nga maestra, nagpakita siya nako og maayong attitude or behavior. So, I will also imitate that and apply that sa ako nga life. Nga ako po nang masunod, then ako po nang ma-share sa ako nga mga students someday in the future or pohon, right? So, creating an environment that is conducive for learning and provide positive and clear instructions. So, kinahanglan ta nga pag kuanta sa atong mga students, kinahanglan ta og positive and clear instructions para masabtan ta and mas ganahan ang ato nga mga students while nag-eskwela sila. They will be motivated also. So, positive behavior. So, kinahanglan ta nga naatay positive behavior. Kay, sa ako nga gistorya ganiha, aggression can be also ma-adapt sa usa ka bata. Kung dili maayo ang atong kung sige tang pangisog, kung sige tag pangasaba. So, kung mamunal ta sa atong mga estudyante, so ang mga estudyante wala na gana nga mosulod or kinahanglan sila nga kuan sila i-motivate. So, ingana ang atong gamiton para magamit po na nila in the future. So, we must have positive behavior. So, modeling provides an alternative to shaping for teaching new behaviors. Modeling can provide a faster, more efficient means for teaching new behavior. To promote effective modeling, a teacher must make sure that 4 essential conditions must exist: attention, retention, motor reproduction, and motivation. Yes, of course, to have an effective model, teachers are the models, right? So, to make sure that the 4 essential conditions must exist, so, kinahanglan na adjud ang 4 conditions: ang attention, retention, motor reproduction, and motivation. So, to provide alternative shaping, teaching new behaviors for modeling and for teaching new behaviors. So, muna na ma-adapt sa ato nga mga students. So, before I end this report, I have a quote nga ibilin. So, this quote is from H. Adams. It says, "A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops." So, God bless everyone. Thank you and keep safe.